Ladies and gentlemen, class of 2018 inductee, Gary Waldrep. Gary LaDon Waldrep was born on July 18, 1963, to Pascal and Carolyn Waldrep at the Sand Mountain Infirmary in Albertville. Gary has a younger sister, Susan. Gary grew up near Boaz and learned music at an early age. At just 5 years old, he began playing the mandolin by ear with his mother's side of the family, the McCulloughs. Gary entered Boaz High School in the fall of 1978. Gary immediately began to immerse himself in the music program at BHS. He was a member of the Boaz High School band, and in his junior and senior years, he was the drum major. In his senior Who's Who, Gary was selected as the most talented boy, and he was crowned band king. He graduated from Boaz High in 1981. During his junior high and high school years, Gary began tinkering with other instruments. He moved from the mandolin to the bass guitar. Eventually, his uncle, Kenny Townsell, introduced him to the banjo, and Gary was hooked. His journey into bluegrass music started then, and he has never looked back. The Alabama State Council of the Arts deemed Gary Alabama's youngest master musician. After graduating from high school, Gary began touring professionally with the Warrior River Boys, a bluegrass band based out of Coleman. After 4 years with the group, Gary joined the nationally known Southern gospel group Wendy Bagwell and the Sunlighters. In 1989, Gary helped form the bluegrass group the Sand Mountain Boys. They won the Society for the Preservation of Bluegrass Music in America award. Gary's group would begin to rack up numerous accolades. In 1993, they won the Fans' Choice Award from the Bluegrass Music Association, and Gary himself was named the Old Time Banjo Player of the Year, clawhammer style, in both 1993 and 94. In 1993, Gary became a touring artist for the Deering Banjo Company out of Spring Valley, California. He is a spokesman for the company and endorses Golden Era banjos. He has also been an endorser for the Gibson Banjo Company out of Nashville and was presented a Gibson Earl Scruggs model to play on stage. Gary and his sister Susan began producing the annual Festival on the Farm in 1994. This was a bluegrass festival each September at their home place in the Kilpatrick community of DeKalb County. The festival ran for 13 consecutive years until the death of their mom Carolyn in 2007. Mrs. Waldrep was the one who had taught Gary how to sing harmony. The back porch of the house served as the stage for the event, and close to 2,000 people would attend the weekend festival. Gary had reunited with the Sand Mountain Boys after his stint playing with the Sunlighters, but in 1996, he and Susan decided to form their own band. This new band became known as the Gary Waldrep Band. The Gary Waldrep Band is an internationally known bluegrass band that travels all over the country playing at city festivals, churches, and bluegrass festivals. They have played in virtually every state in the U.S., plus they have done 2 tours in Canada and the Western Caribbean on a bluegrass cruise. They have performed benefit concerts for the Boaz City Schools Foundation and perform regularly at the Boaz Harvest Festival. Gary and his family were featured in a PBS documentary entitled Music in Their Bones, The Musical History of Sand Mountain on the PBS series Independent Lens. The documentary aired on every public broadcasting station in the country. Gary has also been featured in the Foxfire book about Appalachian music and people. Gary has taught music locally for over 30 years thanks to grants from the Alabama State Council on the Arts. Additionally, he is the music director at Fairview Methodist Church in Albertville. In 2009, Gary was inducted into the Alabama Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame, along with 3 on a String and Grand Ole Opry stars Charlie Lovin and Claire Lynch. He has been presented with 2 keys to the city of Boaz. There is a section of Alabama Highway 168 dedicated to him in DeKalb County, and he has received 2 proclamations from Governors Bob Riley and Fob James for his musical achievements. On October 19, 2017, Gary was invited to debut at the Grand Ole Opry House in Nashville at a tribute show to honor Dr. Ralph Stanley and his music. This was the ultimate highlight of Gary's career, getting to perform in the hallowed circle where so many of the world's great entertainers have stood. From his musical beginnings on the family farm, to the music programs at Boaz High School, to the grandest stage in the world, Gary Waldrep has used his God-given abilities to share his gift of music across America. Ladies and gentlemen, Boaz High School Wall of Fame Class of 2018 inductee, Gary Waldrep.